Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling drained, confused, or somehow smaller? You couldn't quite explain it. No shouting, no violence. But still, something felt off. You questioned your worth. You questioned your memories. You questioned yourself. That's not a coincidence. It's emotional toxicity, and it's more common than you think. Today, we peel back the layers, not just to expose toxic behaviors, but to help you reclaim your peace, your strength, and your truth. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe if you're serious about protecting your emotional well-being. Hit the like button if you've ever felt trapped in a draining relationship, and watch this video to the very end, because the last red flag we discuss is the most silent and the most dangerous. Let's begin. A toxic relationship isn't always obvious. It doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it smiles while it cuts you slowly. A toxic relationship is any connection, romantic, familial, or social, that consistently harms your mental, emotional, or even physical well-being. These relationships distort your self-image, they confuse your sense of reality, and they often make you feel responsible for someone else's dysfunction. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Toxic relationships are often rooted in unconscious patterns, and recognizing those patterns is the first step to healing. Do they make you feel guilty for having needs, for setting boundaries, for simply being yourself? That's guilt tripping, a classic manipulation tactic. They say things like, "After all I've done for you, I guess I just don't matter to you anymore." You've changed. They twist your healthy decisions into acts of betrayal. Why? Because when you're guilty, you're easier to control. This red flag is wrapped in emotional language, but its purpose is power. Toxic people rarely support your growth. Instead, they subtly or openly undermine you. They might say, I really think you can do that? Must be nice to live in a fantasy. Don't get your hopes up." This kind of undermining creates emotional dependency. You begin to question your ambitions, your dreams, your capabilities, and guess who you turn to for validation? The very person who keeps you small. Another powerful sign, they're always the victim. Every conflict, no matter how clear-cut, ends with you apologizing, even if they were the one who hurt you. They use tears, silence, and passive aggression to shift the spotlight back to themselves. Carl Jung taught us the importance of shadow work, facing the hidden, unacknowledged parts of ourselves. But toxic individuals often avoid that inner work. Instead, they project their pain onto you. You become the villain in their story, because that's easier than facing their own reflection. Watch closely when someone tries to isolate you from friends, family, or community. They might say, "They don't really care about you. You're better off without them. It's just us now." This isn't love, it's control disguised as intimacy. Healthy relationships support your independence. Toxic ones trap you in dependency. The more isolated you become, the easier it is for them to rewrite your reality. Toxic people are inconsistent. One day you're their everything, the next, you're ignored. This creates what psychologists call a trauma bond, an emotional addiction to unpredictable affection. Your brain starts to crave the high of their approval and fears the low of their withdrawal. This emotional roller coaster is not a coincidence. It's a pattern designed to keep you coming back. Now you might ask, why do smart, kind, self-aware people stay in toxic relationships? The answer lies in trauma, conditioning, and hope. We remember the good times. We believe they'll change. We think we're being too sensitive, or worse, we blame ourselves. But here's the truth. You didn't create their behavior. You don't deserve their abuse. And you're not crazy for finally waking up to it. Awareness is not betrayal. It's self-preservation. How to heal. Acknowledge the truth, stop minimizing or rationalizing the pain. Reconnect with reality, talk to people you trust. Journaling helps. So does therapy. Set firm boundaries. Not every relationship deserves a second chance, and walking away is a form of self-love. Rediscover. Your self-toxic relationships often cause identity loss. Rebuild your voice, your joy, your dreams. Forgive yourself for staying, for not seeing, for hurting. Healing begins with compassion for yourself. Toxic relationships don't always look like villains and victims. Sometimes they look like almost love, like family ties, like loyalty. But remember this: real love doesn't drain you. Real connection doesn't confuse you. And real peace feels like safety, not suspense. So ask yourself, does this relationship expand me or shrink me? Do I feel free or constantly on edge? You have the right to choose peace, to reclaim your energy, to start again. Because the most important relationship in your life is the one you have with yourself. If this video spoke to you, share it with someone who might need these words today. Subscribe for more deep healing content on emotional health and self-growth. And always remember, you are worthy of peace, respect, and clarity. Don't settle for less.